Holy Sri Gajanan Swami ki jai. Devotees, welcome each of you to this morning's service. Welcome to our devotees who have joined us online. We begin our journey as we normally do with our opening poem. Take flowers in your hand here. Let us all concentrate as we perform our opening poem. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om, Bhagavan He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, He Ram, हमें दया करो। गुरुर ब्रह्मा गुरुर विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर् साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम सिद्धि बुद्धि प्रदे देवी भुक्ति मुक्ति प्रदायिनी मंत्र मूर्ते सदा देवी महालक्ष्मी नमोस्तुते। श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधार वरनो रघुबर बिमल यश जोदायक फल छह बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार। सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम। हे नाथ मम संकट हरु हरि। बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। बैठ जाइए। Now devotees, we normal journey. We perform our chaupais, after which we go on to Bara Akshar Mantra. We all should be familiar with the routine, but just that, let's not make it mechanical. It's a routine, but each time we do it, make sure we put our concentration into what we are doing. प्रवेश नगर की जय सब काजा हृदय रखी कौशलपुर राजा रथ चढ़ी सिया सहित तू भाई जाके सुमिरन तेरी को नाशा नाम शत्रुहन वेद प्रकाश विश्व भरण पोषण कर जोई अकर नाम भरत अस होई जब राम रामा जब राम ब्याही घर आई नित्य नव मंगल मूद बधाई सखा धर्म में असरथ जाकी जीतन कहना कहूँ की जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय जय सीता राम जय जय राम वह शोभा जो समझ सुख कहटन बने खगेश वरन शारद शेष सुती सोरस जानम हेश सिया पति रामचंद्र की जय शरणम बंदो पवन कुमार खलबन पावक ध्यान घना जहाँ सुहृदय आगर बस ही राम शर चापधर ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम 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 नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। 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 बोले श्री वासुदेव भगवान की जय। We have puja been performed and we glorify Gajanan Devima. We visualize Matang Mukh Mahaganapati. Gananatha Gajavadana Gananatha Dinavandana Siddhidata Shivatanaya Siddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Gananatha Gajavadana Gananatha Dinabandana Gananatha Gajavadana Gananatha Dinabandana Siddhidata Shivatanaya Siddhidata Shivatanaya Siddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Siddhi Pradayaka Gajanana Parvati Nandana Bhav Bhai Bhanjan Parvati Nandana Bhav Bhai Bhanjan Yuga Yuga Bandhan Jai Shri Ganesh युग युग बंधन जय श्री गणेश। गणनाथ गजवदन गणनाथ दीनबंधन। सिद्धिदाता शिवतनय सिद्धिदाता शिवतनय सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानन। सिद्धिप्रदायक गजानन। पार्वती नंदन भवभय भंजन पार्वती नंदन भवभय भंजन। युग युग बंधन जय श्री गणेश। हे युग युग बंधन जय श्री गणेश। हो युग युग बंधन जय श्री गणेश। बोले श्री गजानन स्वामी की जय। And devotees, we were just chanting the names of Devi, Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, main aspects of divinity. Devi used to say Kali Ma. Hey Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali Jagmata. Jai Jai Durga, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Kali Jagmata. एक काली जगमाता काली जगमाता। काली जगमाता काली जगमाता। जय जय दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। जय श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। हे दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। हे काली जगमाता काली जगमाता। हे काली जगमाता काली जगमाता। जय जय दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। जय श्री दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। जय जय दुर्गा लक्ष्मी सरस्वती काली जगमाता। बोल सियार शक्ति जगदम्बा माता की जय। हवन गायत्री मंत्र भी बोली। हरि ओम तत्सत हरि ओम तत्सत हरि ओम तत्सत। ओम भूर्भुवः स्वः ओम प्रजापति स्वाहा इदम प्रजापति इदम न मम। ओम इंद्राय स्वाहा इदम इंद्राय इदम न मम। ओम अग्नये स्वाहा इदम अग्नि इदम न मम। ओम सोमाय स्वाहा इदम सोमाय इदम न मम। ओम भू स्वाहा इदम अग्नि इदम न मम। ओम भुव स्वाहा इदम वायवे इदम न मम। ओम स्वः स्वाहा इदम सूर्याय इदम न मम। गजानन स्वामी ओम गंगनपतये नमः स्वाहा। ओम गंगनपतये नमः स्वाहा। दुर्गा माँ ओम ह्रीं श्रीं चंडिकायै नमः स्वाहा। काली माँ ओम क्रीं कालियै नमः स्वाहा। महालक्ष्मी माँ सरस्वती माँ बारह अक्षर मंत्र। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा। नारायण भगवान शिवजी ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी अगिनदेवाय स्वाहा। इष्टदेवाय स्वाहा। कुलदेवाय स्वाहा। अष्टांदेवाय स्वाहा। ग्रामदेवाय स्वाहा। वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा। सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवी भ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा। मृत्युंजय मंत्र जाप। बोलिए श्री उमापति महादेव की। ओम ह्रौम ओम जूम ओम सह। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। ओम नमः शिवाय स्वाहा। Name, take name leaf, yeah. Offer some on the eastern side. Om Namaschandikaya Swaha. We're going clockwise. Om Krim Kaliyai Namah Swaha. Lakshmi Mata Bhyo Namo Namah Swaha. Srim Rim Saraswatyai Swaha. Right hand. All right. Offer some mixture of Google rice, sugar. Om Sarva Devata Sarva Devi Bhyo Namo Namah Swaha. Sprinkle around. Good. Do Achman 3 times, water around the fire. Om Gangas Chaiva Godavari Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jalesmin Sannidhi Kuru Shuddhodak Snanam Achmanam Samarpayami Brahmagnaye Namaha. Take a flower and fan the fire towards the murtis 5 times. Om Banaspati Rasudbhuto Gandhadhi Gandha Uttama Agreyang Sarvadevanang Dhupoyam Pratigrihitam Dhupam Samarpayami. Both hands on the flame. You feel that heat, pass it over your head 5 times. We take a flower and we concentrate on Lakshmi Ma, everybody. Jai Mahalakshmi Ma. Om Namostestu Mahamaye Sepite Surpujite Shankha Chakra Gadahaste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Lakshmi Karutva Kalyanam Arogyam Sukha Sampadam Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namostute. Om Lakshmi Mata Namo Namaha. Offer everybody the hand up. Bole Sri Mahalakshmi Mata Ki. Alright, so you take flowers and we concentrate. So devotees will glorify Bhagavan Shankar. I want to do so this morning for bhajan. If you can join me, feel free. Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai Trilochan, Jai Dukha Mochan, Jai He Mangal Kari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai He Trilochan, Jai Dukha Mochan, Jai He Trilochan, Jai Dukha Mochan, Jai He Mangal Kari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari. Mukti Pradayak Sharal Tarange Shisha Jata Me Shobhita Gange. Mukti Pradayak Sharal Tarange Shisha Jata Me Shobhita Gange. Anga Babhutaramaye Bole Jai Kailash Bihari, Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari. Gale mund ki ma kathina mrga chha asmatanu saje. Gale mund ki Kathina mrga chhal bhasmatanu saje. Tu bhi chandra sohe bhag dinak din tal damru baje. Dushtani kandan he Jai Jagavandan he. Dushtani kandan he Jai Jagavandan he. Jai Trishul Karadhari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai He Trilochan, Jai Dukha Mochan, Jai He Trilochan, Jai Dukha Mochan, Jai He Mangalakari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai 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 Tripurari, Jai Jai Tripurari. Devotees, if you follow what the bhajan says, it describes Bhagavan Shankar. He is Mangalkari. He brings bliss. Remember, Bhagavan Shankar Shantras, the essence of peace manifested. For a few moments, that powerful Panchakshar mantra. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshamam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshamam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshamam. Om Namah Shivaya, Pahi Mam. Om Namah Shivaya, Rakshamam. Bole Shri Umapati Mahadev ki jai. Devotees, Bhagavan Shankar, at peace in his mind, to use a strong term, discarded Sati. For Sati had behaved in a way that not conducive and sync with spirituality. And as I explained, Sati symbolizes the unenlightened intellect. The divine, as we say, personifies itself from time to time and enacts certain leelas to teach us lessons. So let's not forget that Sati is the Divine Mother, and she performed this role to show us and to make a comparison for us what is right, what is not right. And in this context, what is the unenlightened intellect? And as we continue, we go along approaching Shivratri, we'll speak about the enlightened intellect. But right now, we are still in the state of unenlightened. Sati was discarded. Bhagavan Shankar returned to Kailas Parbat with Sati, and it is said he went into meditation. Sati was left to her own devices. And she began to perform various rites and rituals. With the passing of time, everybody realizes the mistakes they make. You must. If it's the last thing we do in life, is to realize what mistakes we made. So Sati was repentant at this point in time. And in this condition, this is what I term to be the relative intellect, where it begins to undergo transformation from the state of unenlightenment to the enlightened state. But it has to go through certain processes. It is not a sudden transition. It doesn't take place like that. You go through processes. And everything in life is based upon processes. Everything. Even if, say, we get a sudden inspiration, like a switch turned on suddenly, it is not because it happens suddenly. Incidents, circumstances have led up to that point. That is a defining moment. But it doesn't happen all of a sudden. So devotees, this is why I keep saying to all of us, when you are going through certain situations in life, etc., don't expect to get immediate release. It doesn't happen. You have to build up. And therefore, it tells us that perseverance is essential in life. No matter what the challenge is, perseverance is essential. So you keep on doing what you have to do. Let the process take its time. In due course, everything becomes what it's supposed to be. And hand in hand with this statement I make, I also emphasize that we are entitled to the actions. The outcome is not in our hands. The outcome is not in our hands. We cannot determine when the outcome should be. We leave it in the hands of the divine, as we say. But we keep on doing what we have to do. So Sati, who knows when she will get out of this state? Who knows? But she didn't shut down, as we say, as many people do. Because I keep saying when circumstances arise that are adverse, the world does not shut down for anybody to get off. It continues to rotate. It continues to evolve around the sun. Everything continues as usual. And if you shut down, you lose. Always remember, Age Chali. That statement means no matter what happens in life, we have to keep going forward. So devotees, Sati continued to do what she had to do. Praying, whatever, and maybe at some point hoping that her circumstances will become different. When? Nobody knows, except the Lord. He is the divine Mahakal. Many, many years passed, and they said, once Sati observed a certain situation taking place, that aerial chariots, many aerial chariots with wonderfully dressed, what we call Kinnar, Nag, Siddha, Gandharv, these divine embodiments, all wonderfully dressed and in their finery and so on, and they're going in a certain direction. With the exception of Brahma and Vishnu, of course, and Shiva, because he was in meditation, everybody, Chale Sakal Suryan Banai. So Sati devotee saw this and she wanted to know what is happening. You know, if it's one thing everybody wants to know, well, I should say everybody wants is to know. Everybody. Something knock, what knock? Whatever, why is that? Everybody wants to know. Now this attitude is good. But many times we seek to know that which is non-essential. But let's follow. Sati devotees, she saw what was happening. So I'm taking a few verses from Sri Ramcharitamanas. Last week I did some from Shiv Puran, Ramayana, same katha.
Sati viloke ukamanadi mana jata chali sundaradi nana. सुरसुन्दरी रामा सुरसुन्दरी करही कल गान सुनत श्रवण छूतहि मुनि जन जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम राम जय जय सीता राम जय जय राम
सती ने आकाश में देखा कि सुंदर सुंदर विमान चले जाते हैं, देवताओं की स्त्री सुंदर गान करते हैं, जिसे सुनकर मुनियों की ध्यान छूते हैं। जब शिव जी से पूछा तब उनने कहने से पिता के यहाँ यज्ञ सुनकर सती प्रसन्न हुई और विचारने लगी, जो शिव जी मुझे आज्ञा दे तो दिन इसी बहाने से वहां जा रहूं। Devotees, so Sati, seeing all these goings on and these beautiful women singing in wonderful tones, it is said so sweet and enchanting it was, disturbing the meditation of the sages, a wonderful atmosphere. Sati wanted to know what was taking place. Sivayata said she asked Bhagwan Shankar, who was back to his normal seat at this point. Bhagwan Shankar said, Sati, your father Daksha is having a yajna. Now Sati was unaware. So Daksha has just been elevated to the position of what they call Prajapati, the lord of all created beings. So he was having a yajna. दक्ष जी ने तब मुनियों को बुलाया और एक बड़ा यज्ञ करने लगी एवं उन देवताओं को न्योता और यज्ञ में भाग पाते हैं. Daksh invited, on the advice of the holy ones guiding him about how to perform the yajna, he invited all the devatas, as we say, wonderful elaborate preparations. And in every yajna we do, and the Bedi may not know, you think you do puja here, but in every yajna, a path is put aside for the different devatas. You have the Navgraha Devata, Ganesh Baba, Shivaji. In every yajna we always have the Shivlingam. So all the devatas are worshipped, and in that yajna setting, path is put aside. A place is created for each devata. So wonderful preparations being made, or were made. Now Sati heard that your father is having a yajna. Bhagwan didn't elaborate upon it. When Sati heard her father was having a yajna, and it goes without saying that Daksha is Sati's father, Sati was very happy, and she began to reflect. If I get the permission of Bhagwan Shankar, jo Mahesh mohi ayasu dehi, kuch din jai raho misaihi. If I get permission from Shiva, my Lord, my master, I can go and spend a few days at my father's home. Those daughters who are married and so on will know how happy sometimes you feel to go to your father's home, if he's still here, and enjoy some time with the family and so on. And there's a yajna, utsav, celebration. So Sati, her mind was to go. But notice, before, even when she went to test Sri Ram, Bhagwan Shankar said, if you want Sati, go and test. She got permission. So now, she's thinking to herself, Bhagwan Shankar, I need to get permission from him. Even though she didn't know that he had discarded her in the mind, she was still thinking relationship was here. But at this point, undergoing transition in thinking, she wanted to ask Lord Shiva's permission.
पति परित्याग हृदय दुख भारी राम पति परित्याग हृदय दुख भारी कहे न निजय पराध विचारी बोली सची मनोहर पानी बोली सची मनोहर पानी भय संकोच प्रेम रस सानी प्रेम रस सानी राम प्रेम रस सानी भये संकोच प्रेम रस सानी
पति त्याग के करने का दुख हृदय में बहुत है। अपना अपराध विचार कर कहती नहीं। फिर ऐसी सती ऐसी मनोहर वाणी से बोली जो कि डर लज्जा और प्रीति से युक्त थी। Devotees, now even though Sati wasn't told, but Bhagavan Shankar had discarded her, but by actions she knew. Pati ke tyag, he had discarded, he had left him more or less to whom devices. So there was unhappiness in her heart. The relationship we all know, you must know, whether it's trained or not, between husband and wife, you must know. You know, when one vexed something or one by behavior, one silent, there's no communication, etc. People should be aware of these things. These things happen. Human behavioral patterns displayed. Sati was aware at this point, but you know, it didn't come directly from Shiva in words, but by behavior, attitudes. And she realized that she made a mistake in the past. She disrespected and disregarded Lord Shiva's words. She told an untruth to him. She impersonated Sita. You know, things that were not right and proper, not spiritual. So she was aware of this. But at this point in time, of course, quite repentant. But recognizing all this, these like certain factors in her heart, sometimes these thoughts and so on inhibit us from acting in certain ways. You want to ask, but I wonder what the reaction will be. If the past will come back to haunt me. It does. It does. But let's go on. Sati decided that she will speak to Shiva, because she was not going to go unless she got permission. So she spoke now in very, very nice words. But this one false. You know, sometimes, many times, only when the wife wants something good, she talk nice. Yeah? Sati devotees, you know, repentant. She genuinely repentant, but want to maintain principle. So, you know, with full of love in her heart, a bit of fear, lajja, embarrassment, because she knew what she did. And notice, you know, devotees, even if sometimes nobody pays attention to what we have done, we know what we have done. And we feel that embarrassment, whatever inside. The way of the transgressor is exceedingly difficult. Difficult. This is why it's always best to stay on the straight path. When the intellect is unenlightened, we compromise ourselves, and then We have to live with that. It causes problems. But change has to take place. So Sati developed courage, and she's going to speak in a very nice tune, beautifully. She's speaking to Bhagavan Shankar. Words imbued with love, affection, but yet still fear of rejection, lajja, embarrassment because of what took place in the past. What she said to Bhagavan Shankar.
भवन उत्सव परम जो प्रभु आय सुहोय। पिता भवन उत्सव परम जो प्रभु आय सुहोय। हे राम जो प्रभु आय सुहोय। तो मैं जाऊं पिपायतना सादर देखन सोयसिया पति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरणम।
हे दया सागर स्वामी जी, पिता के घर में बड़ा उत्सव है, जो आपकी आज्ञा होए तो मैं भी आदर पूर्वक उसको देख जाऊं। Sati said, hey daya sagar swami, O ocean of compassion. And that word itself implies something. That Shiva is the ocean of grace. He's quick to forgive. Sati knew what she did. You see? So even without saying forgive me, or whatever it is, but the words she is using would imply the very contrite attitude that she had at this point in time. And notice, this is not trick because there was fear, dar, or lajja, embarrassment. So she's not making up anything. This is genuine from her at this point in time. Hoping that Bhagavan Shankar, ocean of compassion, will forgive her, whatever, and give her permission. So that word alone you could elaborate upon it, but she said, Hey Daya Sagar Swami, O Shiva, most compassionate master, as you mentioned, my father is having an utsav, a yagya, celebration at his home. Jo aapki aagya hui, if I can get your permission, I also will go. And Adar Purvak, with great reverence, etc., become part of that. In other words, I'm asking for your permission to go to my father's yagya. Permission. Now, it's nice to compare when last week we read about Bhagavan told her, she didn't ask for permission, Bhagavan gave her permission. But what was the intent? Now today the permission is sought, but intent is different. The attitude is different. Attitude is different. Now I like to say these things because no matter what you do on the outside, everything emanates from the inside. If the inside is not right, nothing will be right in the long run. In other words, if the outside actions not in sync with the internal thoughts, that is hypocrisy. This is what I call playing games. Right? You're thinking something inside, but your behavior is showing something different. There's a scheme, there's a hidden agenda behind it. And that attitude is not straightforwardness, devotees. Something they call arjav, straightforwardness. Straightforwardness meaning good conduct, good behavior. But everything comes from inside, right thinking, right attitude. And I keep emphasizing this. It's not what is happening on the outside only. It's what is in the inside. This is why it's mentioned here before. Sati, Dar, Lajja, but Priti Yukta. Priti say Yukta. With great affection she's speaking. But the embarrassment and the fear and so on and so forth help us to understand her condition. So no games. She's not playing games. Now all these points, devotees, we could just skim it over and finish with it, But you learn nothing. These are the little wheel knots I keep saying in life we have to look at. Tighten them. Don't play games. Don't play games. They backfire on us. Now this is not the first time I'm saying this. I hope it's not the last time either. But devotees still continue to play games. What can I say? Man lifts himself by himself. Man sings himself by himself. It's up to you. Up to you. Devotees, Bhagwan Shankar listened to Sati's words. Yagyavalkya Muni said, Bharadwaj, listen.
अनुचित नहीं नेवत पथावह दक्ष सकल निज सुता बुलाई दक्ष सकल निज सुता बुलाई अमरे नैर तुम ही विसराई जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम
भगवान शंकर बोली, हे सती, तुमने अच्छी बात कही और मेरे मन को भी भली लगी, परंतु यह एक अयोग्य बात है कि इन्होंने बुलावा नहीं भेजा। दक्ष से सब अपनी कन्या बुलाई पर हमारे वैर से तुम्हें भुला दिया। यह विपरीत है सती। चाहिए यह था कि तो सुता की प्रीति से शंकर का वैर विसर जाता। Devotees, Bhagwan Shankar, now look at the approach. He didn't shut up Sati when he began himself. I mean, we understand all that. Look at the attitude, this how we should conduct ourselves, interpersonal relationships. Even if there is tension, even if all the factors are not right. But, you know, if I am in a certain way, I conduct myself in that way under all circumstances. I don't pretend. So Bhagwan Shankar Vairagya, this passion, not affected, caught up in anything. So he was, I shouldn't be saying the wise enough, he's always wise. You know, he said, Sati, what you have said is good. I'm going again to see, he was wise enough to understand that. The Lord would understand that. Sati, what you have said is very good. Or mere man ko bhi bhali lagi. It also appeals to my mind. So he agrees with the idea. But, parantu, there is something that is not too right in the whole circumstance, Sati. See? So first agreement, but. So he's implying why he wouldn't want to give permission, but he's creating a situation, reason, not talking by guess. He said, you have not been invited. Sati, you have not been invited. Now, naturally, a question will arise, whether one has to get invited to go to one's parents' home. But Bhagwan Shankar is making the point now. You see, this is part that many people miss out. You look at one thing, you don't look at all the other factors. You take things in a vacuum. Now, why is Bhagwan Shankar saying this? He goes on to say, Daksha Sakal Nija Suta Bulai. Daksha has invited all his other daughters. This is Daksha's 27. Now, let's look at the other aspect of it. You know, the daughters of Daksh represent the constellations. But I'm not going to go there, right? The constellations, the 27 constellations. So what we are saying here, that Bhagwan Shankar is saying, Daksh has invited all his other daughters, all the other daughters. But because of enmity with me, he did not invite you. Now you see, he's getting reason, not emotion. So he's trying to convince Sati to get her mind off that. He didn't tell her yet, but he's putting reasons. He said, because of enmity with me, your father has not invited you. Listen, Sati.
ब्रह्मसभाहम सन दुख माना एहि ते यजहु रही अपमान जय श्री राम। जो भी न बोले जाहु भवानी जो भी न बोले जाहु भवानी रहे न शील से नेहन कहनी सनेहन कहनी राम सनेहन कहनी सनेहन कहनी राम सनेहन कहनी रहे नशील से नेहन कहनी जय श्री राम।
सती, ब्रह्मा जी की सभा में हमसे दुख माना है, इससे अब भी निरादर करते हैं। एक समय ब्रह्मा की सभा में विष्णु आदि सब देवताओं के साथ बैठे थे। उस समय दक्ष तुम्हारे पिता आए और उन्हें देख सब देवता तो उठे, परंतु मैं ब्रह्मा जी और विष्णु जी बैठ रही। सो दक्ष ने क्रोध कर हमको श्राप दिया और कहा, यज्ञ में भाग तुमको आज से न मिलेगा। इसी से द्वेष कर आप यज्ञ करते हैं और हमको निमंत्रण नहीं दिया सती। तो हे सती, तो तुम बिना बुलाए जाओगी तो शील स्नेह कांति नहीं रहेगी। भगवान शंकर saying, Sati, once it is said there was an assembly of all the devatas. Brahma, Vishnu, myself, all the devatas, we all were present. And Daksh entered into that assembly. Now, Daksha was elevated to this position, as I mentioned, the Lord of all created beings. And what happened? When he entered, as a mark of respect, all the devatas stood up to greet him. Brahmaji did not stand, neither did Vishnu nor myself. When Daksh saw that I was sitting, and I'm his son-in-law, so he thought to himself, he became enraged that you did not stand to welcome me. You didn't show me that respect. And therefore he took a decision unilaterally that from today on, he would not be worshipped in any yajna. Now devotees, we all know that without Shiva's worship, devotion is incomplete. But Daksh took a decision unilaterally that you would not be worshipped. And nobody would stop him at that point in time. Now, many points could come in here. We won't elaborate too much. Except to point out when a person is elevated to a certain position. You know, they get carried away. You know, otherwise, you know, I would say they get dotish. Ego. Now, Daksh personifies ego. When you're in this position, this total maximum leader, which I've spoken about before, you take unilateral decisions. Last time we read this, Ravan taking decision to kill Hanuman, not understanding the principles of proper, the laws of kings, universal principles. When a person is carried away because of position power, your thinking becomes twisted, perverted. And I mentioned sometime before that, we have maximum leaders. You never ever have a maximum leader. The Bhagavad Mahapuran tells us that, they are ethereal parasites, as we call them, that invade the thinking of people. And if you have a person who has all this power, maximum leader, imagine what he could do or she could do. I mentioned also this is why Bhagavan Krishna, before he left the earth, he caused his own race to be destroyed. He doesn't want a master race. He doesn't want a superpower. And I want you all to trace what is happening in the world right now politically. Superpower. And it's not the superpower. Man is using the circumstances to make himself a superman. And ego, perverted intellect, twisted, not seen principle, this will lead to destruction. They make decisions and nobody can complain. And of course, when you have such a leader, you have sycophants around them. Those who cannot say no. Anything the leader say, yes. Anything you say, you're the boss. Yeah, many factors in that. Ravan had that problem. Everybody, wah Ravan, nobody like you. And the one who dared to go against Ravan, death penalty. This thing sounding familiar? From the time you give me a constructive criticism, you're my enemy, you shall be persecuted. I shall take my revenge on you. What is the word he used? Retribution. Yeah. Sick people, sick in the head. This is projected here. And they make decisions and so on and don't realize that they're causing harm for all. And you know what? I always say, man is allowed to do what he wants to do, unless you have these constraints in place. And this is the failure. The failure. Evil is allowed to thrive when good men say and do nothing. Scriptures teach us that. So devotees, this yajna that was being done by Daksh, all the priests were there, right, guiding Daksh. And Daksh decided, no Shiva worship. And Bhagavan Shankar said, Parvati, Sati, this is why we have not been invited, because of Daksha's own ego. He felt slighted that I should have stood up to offer him honor and whatever else. His own weakness. Now devotees, you see how these things could affect people's head? You think about it, elaborate upon this, and look around in society. And you will see many. Sometimes even small little organization. They move from here to here and they head swell till there. Attitudes change. Behavioral patterns change. And for what? And tomorrow you hit the dust, you buy the dust. It doesn't mean anything. But we are carried away. So devotees, this is why you see communication is important. Dialogue is important. Sometimes even in a home, husband and wife, you have the discussion, children are there. Sometimes let the husband do what he feels. Or let the wife do what she feels. All that is problem, Not that to stop them, but discussion. Make sure there's consensus. Because somebody could be under a cloud. You may not be seeing things rightly, constructively. And you want to dominate. Understand? I can't explain this more than devotees, but this thing happens all about. In the home, in the organization, in the community, in the country, in the world. And the problem is ego. Human attitude. I make a decision. I. So devotees, understand? This affects all kind of relationships. All. Throughout the world. All. So Bhagavan Shankar is saying, Sati, this is why your father did not invite us. Because that yagya, there is no Shiva worship. Now right away we know that is wrong. But what is important here also, devotees? The priests who were involved, they dare not tell him anything. They carry dakshina and they're gone. And if they were the true teachers, the true gurus, they would say, no, you can't do that. Nobody did it. They went along with what Daksh said. This is why I keep saying time and again, you have to be very careful also of your so-called spiritual leaders. If they have an agenda, you're going through. And especially in this age, Kali Yuga, very, very deadly. It's happening on all sides. So it's reflected here. Bhagavan Shankar is saying, Sati, trying to tell her, if you go Sati, then good conduct, affection, the brilliance of relationships, all the good things will be destroyed if you go without invitation. Devotees, Bhagavan Shankar is saying, Sati, without being invited, if you go, problems.
यद्यपि मित्र प्रभु पितु गुरु केहा जाए बिना बोले संदेह तदपि विरोध मान जह कोई तहा ये कल्याण न हुई भांति अनेक शंभु समुझव भावी वशन ज्ञान उरव कह प्रभु जब भी नहीं बुलई नहीं फली बात हमारे भई जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय सिया राम जय रघुराम जय परम धाम जय सुख धाम जय श्री राम जय हनुमान जय हनुमान जय हनुमान जय श्री राम।
भगवान शंकर बोले सती, यद्यपि मित्र प्रभु पिता गुरु के घर बिना बुलाए जाए तो कुछ संदेह नहीं है, किंतु तो भी जहां कोई अपने से वैर रखता हो वहां जाने से कल्याण नहीं होता। अनेक भांति से शिव जी ने समझाया, पर होनी बलवान थी, कुछ समझने न आया। शिव जी ने कहा, जो बिना बुलाए जाओगी तो हम इसे अच्छा नहीं मानते सती। भगवान शंकर is putting to all of us lessons to Sati. Now devotees, he's saying, a person has a friend, your mother, father, guru, near and dear ones. Yeah? Mit Prabhu Pita Guru ke ghar. You can go anytime to these homes without invitation. You don't have to get invitation to go. Notice what he's saying. One's friend home, one's master, guru, parents. You can go without invitation. You have to be invited to go there. But, and there's always a but, and this is based upon human behavioral patterns, attitudes that people display. Get this clear. Sometimes we say, why I can't leave my house open? Why I can't put up my jewels and walk all about? Well, go ahead now. Go ahead. The why is there. You're right to ask you why. But you don't be stupid enough to say, because of that, I'll wait and go. You have to look at the circumstances. Nothing is taken in a vacuum. You see? So Bhagavan Shankar is saying, Sati, you can go to these relationships anytime without invitation. But, Tarapi virodhaman jaha koi. If there is any conflict, if there is any strained relationships, here, circumstances, going to such places without invitation, kalyan nahi hota. It won't work out good. Now devotees, under normal circumstances, we don't want conflict with our parents, with our friends, with the guru. But because of human temperament, human attitudes, these conditions exist. So your father wants to see you, your mother wants to see you. Dad, don't come and see my face. As if they will know. You know? Attitude like that we know. We know it happens in society. Right? And it's not a one-off thing, no? It's common. Right? Friends. Today friend, tomorrow enemy. All these things we got to learn, it's good to learn, devotees. Today is my friend. Many people get disappointed by that. Close friend. All your secrets you share with your friend. They are no longer secrets, Because next day the friend is your enemy. Your secrets out in the world. People have to understand all these things. That's what I keep saying. And today, if I digress, social media, but all your business on social media. Yeah. Like you're lacking something. You want the whole world to know your business. And you think they care about you? Nobody cares about you. They're glad you fall flat on your face. But you're lacking something, devotees, people who do this thing. You burp hard, put it on social media. Yeah. You change your outfit, put it on. Who wants to know all that? But people do it. It's a disease in society today. Long time they should do talking. Now social media worse. And then before you know it, so many people against you. Friends gone against you. Devotees, I mentioned some time ago, a fellow got married. And the girl he got married to. Right? So this goes both sides, boy and girl. She had friends before now. And texting, text, yeah, social media kind of thing. She got married, and the night of the marriage, the husband recognized everything. That the first marriage, I think for a long time, finished in one night time. Mash up. You looking for name, fame? Put the secrets out, no? I keep saying you build your house. You put up drapes because you don't want to see anybody to see inside. This is the house. What to do? Open it up, put on social media. What are you doing? People don't understand that there must be a certain degree of privacy in your life. But why do I do all that? Anybody care about me, boy? What I do, what I do? You're looking for name, but that is a vitamin? I can't understand it. Maybe because I'm old. If I was young like someone here, texting. Even while katha going on, you're texting and then put on social media. Now we try to stream, and I have come to the conclusion that okay, let's do it. You know why? Not because to project ourselves, because there are many devotees in other parts of the world who like to become a part of what we are doing. So I try to do that. It is their request that we do it, not because I want to do it. If I could help it, come temple. I'm not streaming. But it serves a purpose to some extent. And even that purpose is also defeated. Guruji, I watch you every Sunday morning in YouTube, where you live in. Just in the back. Yeah. Can't come temple. Telling me about these things, devotees. And when I say, you see, some of us have to say these things now. Because everybody feels it's okay. But it's not okay. It's not okay. So what I'm saying, and something I keep saying, many years ago I heard a pundit say that. Today's newspaper is tomorrow's waste paper. You want to make news today? Tomorrow is waste. What are you looking for? 7-day wonder, 9-day wonder, a 10-second wonder. So devotees, because of human temperament, behavioral patterns, very fickle. You have to have a different type of approach in life. These lessons are for us. So even though we don't want to create enmity and so on, situations do exist. So if somebody, say parents having something, guru having something, a friend is having something,
I shouldn't go unless I'm invited if there's a strained relationship. If there is no strained relationship, I'm free to go anytime. Bear this in mind, everybody. Scripture's teaching this. Whether brother, whether sister, whether father, mother, whoever. Strained relationship, don't go without invitation. Now, Bhagwan Shankar lived in long time. I live in now. So I have another aspect to it. Even if they invite you, you look at the mode of invitation before you decide to go or not to go. Follow me? If somebody having something and they tell Ari, tell Guruji, if you want to come, you can come. That is an invitation. Me going? You don't see me for nothing. The mode of what I dying to come by you. I'm not starving, I'm not hungry. You understand? So devotees, this attitude, I don't know. People feel life is a popularity contest. Don't waste time, boy. Don't waste time. Okay? So devotees, for all of us, bear this in mind. Right? Whether guru, whether parents, whether friend, master, if there is a strange relationship, Bhagavan says, do not go without invitation. And I am saying, if invited, look at the mode of invitation. If you call me personally and talk to me, I know you want me to come. I don't pass through 10, 15 people and say, if I want to come, come. No, you haven't seen me, boy. Bhagavan Shankar devotees explain all this. But you know what they call, what is destiny, fate? Honahar Balwan. I do what I have to do, and what I said, we have no control over the outcome. Bhagavan Shankar put all his points to Sati. All his points to Sati. But kuch samjhe mein na aaya. Sati didn't understand. She didn't understand. She didn't accept. So second time making mistake. The first time, second time now. Second time. Bhagavan Shankar said, Sati, if you go without being invited, I would not be happy. I would not be happy. हम इसे अच्छा नहीं मानते. Things don't work out good. Devotees, Sati kiye? Sati kiye? Devotees, Bhagavan Shankar tried his best. Yagyavalak Muni said, Bharadwaj, kahi dekha har yatna bahu, rahe the Daksha Kumari. De mukhya gan sangatava vidakhe Tripurari. Bhagavan tried in various ways. Various ways. But Daksh Kumari ne rahna nahi bichara. Nothing doing. So when I do what I have to do, I do everything I have to do, and the outcome is different, that is where it's supposed to be. It's not in my control. But I do what I have to do, as Bhagavan Shankar did. Your children, you talk to them, don't do this, don't do that. Point out all, at the end of it, what the outcome is will be. Right? You have no control over it. And by understanding that, this is where the vairagya comes into this passion. No control. We have no control. Bhagavan Shankar do devotees, recognizing the Sati persevering. What he did? He said, all right, Sati, if you want to go, go. I am not going. I am not going. So many times the wife will say, husband, you have to go with me. The husband come like, what? Ako na kung adornment na, people will call you a jewel na. You create the impression, he come to. Bhagavan Shankar said, no. And it is with me, and because of me, it has passed on to you. Dakshi's own daughter. So therefore, I am not going to go. You go. But what Bhagavan Shankar did, if you want to go Sati, go. Bhagavan Shankar told his disciples to accompany Sati. He did what he had to do to make sure that she was protected. All understand how duty functions? Even though I might not agree with you, but if this is circumstance, it has to work like that, I do what I have to do. So I will not have regrets in the long run. Everything goes back to the individual. Okay, devotees? So, Sati happy, just happening, gone by the Father Yag. So we'll summarize it. Devotees, to put it simply, when she reached where the Father's Yag, everybody there well dressed up and so on. Yeah. The sisters who were invited, they look at Sati and began to laugh in a mocking kind of way. Sisters, siblings, and we know that they're sibling rivalry. Time and again, these things happen. Sati didn't pay much mind to it. Her father, Daksh, when he saw her, began to burn with rage. And you must know body language. Biting, grinding up his teeth and so on. You know, as if to say, Sati, who invited you? Sati didn't pay mind to it. The only person to welcome Sati was, you know who? Mother, always different. Sati, mother. She was the one who welcomed Sati and tried to make her feel comfortable. In spite of her husband, angry, other daughters, everybody aggravated with Sati. Mothers always make a sacrifice. And to just add one point, if your mother vexed with you, well, crapo smoke your pipe. I'm telling you. Right? A bad child there may always be, but a bad mother, never ever. So devotees, all these little lessons from scriptures. Sati put up with all that. But when she went to where the yag was supposed to take place, and she looked around, all the devatas, as we say, part for them, but there is no part for Shiva. You see, like you go to a yag, when I go to a yag and watch, and there is no Shivlingam, something missing by. You must have the Shivlingam, the presence of Shiva. No Shiva. And this devotees tripped Sati, to put it in my terms. You know, she bore all the insults to herself or whatever. And Ramayana says, you know, you could tell me anything you want, you know, but you see, my family, don't tell me nothing about my family. Then I trip. I could do anything. Sati couldn't bear this insult to Shiva. And as Ramayana has it, you know, she rebuked everyone present, even the sages, that you all are here to guide my father, and you're allowing this to happen? No Shiva worship? And then ultimately she said, this body of mine has come from the loins of my father. I can't remain in this body any longer. And devotees, we all know, she created Yog Agni, fire from within the body. You know, friction between the vital airs of the body. Not outside, Vamagzun and Lanit and thing. There are difference. Suicide, outside substance you take. This is Yoga Agni of choice, creating friction between the vital airs. And nobody going to know how to do that. Right? Because first we have to know what the vital airs are. But remember I mentioned when Shiva Tahir Jata, Ya Pranapan Saman Vyanudan, I explained all that. Can't go back and say it again. But there is yogic technique to create friction. And so the body is burnt. Not burnt to ashes, burnt. Life goes out of the body. So imagine that yag now, devotees, mahahakar. So I want to say also that you could have a yag, and those say once you have a yag, everything good now, it could turn upside down. Why? What was Daksha's intent? To disrespect Shiva. Intent. Intent. Whether it's a puja, a yag, as you call whatever, if the intent is not right, you're setting up yourself. Things could go wrong. And things will go wrong. And devotees, when Sati burnt herself, as we say, you know, the disciples of Sati attacked that yagya and turned everything upside down. So, yag but fight. But, you know, one of the sages, the devotees, created a very powerful force. Very powerful. And it began to put the sword, the disciples of Shiva. And when they report back to Shiva, it says Shiva took a strand of his hair and split it, and there appeared what are called Virbhadra, a powerful form, this Paravairagya, spiritually, you know, metaphysically speaking. Vairag, Paravairagya. And this Virbhadra went there and destroyed everything and cut out Daksh's head. Daksh lost his head. I don't know if it's from since then, people in the dunya did a zofa goat, I don't know. Because Daksh was given a goat head. But people hear this katha and they understand what it means. But for, you know, philosophically, ego, cut off the head, put the goat head, it means transcending the three gunas, becoming gunatit. We won't touch all that. That is yogic, not cutting off a goat head. Right? It has a deep yogic significance. So devotees, that Sati burnt herself, as we say, yag turned upside down. And when the mother of Sati prayed and so on, Daksha was given the goat head. So you come back to life with a goat head. You know? So devotees, what happened after that? Sati was no more. So that transition place, stage came to an end. And I mentioned, you know, when we did Devi Yag some time ago, That Lord Shiva, it is said, very distressed, he took up that body of Sati. Now, you have to understand that all this story is not really physical. If Sati burned herself, where did the body coming from? This is why I said it's not burning herself to ashes. He said Bhagavan Shankar picked up that body in distress and he began to walk everywhere. And Lord Vishnu was told by Brahma, as Shiva is walking, cut up the body with the Sudarshan Chakra. And let the body fall different parts of India, wherever, Bharat Desh. Wherever. And while Shiva would walk, walking everywhere, that body was being cut into pieces and pieces dropped everywhere. All this is scripture's way of telling us that in India, you have certain places that are called Shakti Peeth, places where Devi is specially worshipped, where the energy is very, very high. The energy is very, very high. And devotees, 108 places in all parts of India, the body of Sati was dismembered. And the story tells you that. But the essence is that 108 energy centers in India, right, where Shakti is specially worshipped. But remember, I keep saying, Yatha Pinde Tatha Brahmande, as in a microcosm, so the macrocosm. And this is where you see Hinduism supersedes everything else. But when we're in preschool, we don't understand these things. So devotees, 108. How much jap do we do when we do jap? We do like Shivratri, we say 108 times. Yeah? 108, in Himalaya, 108 times. Why 108? Now devotees, in the microcosm, it all goes back to the chakras. Now, within the human body, the chakra is a vortex of energy in everybody. So most people are aware that there are 7 chakras. We have 114 chakras in the body. I'm saying it publicly. 114 chakras. 114. 2 outside, 4 we don't use within the body. And that will leave us with 108. So that 108 Shakti Peeth in India value represents also 108 energy centers within the human body. In us, nothing is by guess. So when I do jap and so on, I activate all these energy centers. There are 7 main chakras along the spine and 2 minor ones. But otherwise, we have 108 in all. This is why we do jap 108 times. That number 108 is not an arbitrary number. I've suggested to people, if you Google, people like to Google and so on, whatever it is, AI. Now, you can find out what is the diameter of the moon and compare it to the diameter of the sun and see what you're getting. Compare the distances and you will see it goes almost, if not 108 to 1. That number is a cosmic number in the outside. 108, 108 is 9. I've explained the significance of 9 already. And this is why I keep telling Hindus, nothing is by guess, but we are lazy intellectually. We don't want to learn. Preschool, go through the bare minimum and think we are great devotees. I'm not putting you down. I'm trying to lift you up because you're down already. If you understand the philosophy, Gyan Bhakti, we know exactly what we are doing. And you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. So devotees, the stories are there. Now whether this happened or it didn't happen, I'm not going to argue that. This is why I take it to a different level, how it applies to my life. Because I keep saying the sages have created a lot of wonderful episodes. Like I've explained, when Ganesh Baba destroyed a demon called Krodhasur. You think it have a fellow called Krodhasur and Ganesh destroy him? Krodh means anger. The sages have created stories to show how through, Vivek, discriminative power, Ganesh, I can overcome anger. But the story is here and everybody look at the story. Some them wise producers make picture, you see the picture and you believe that is the reality. You stay right there, Donkey Head, preschool. Take the philosophy. What does it mean to me if Ganesh destroys Krodhasur? What it mean to me? This is why we say worship Gajanan. Krodh is in me. I can overcome it. It has application. And I have explained this countless times. One fellow tell me, say, Pandit Mia K, what you say, I believe they have a fellow called Krodhasur and Ganesh kill him. I say, go ahead. With the old fellow that time, I was younger. Now I say old man, and I say it's not so. These things are symbolic. Maybe this is the only downside with Hinduism, symbolism, And if you're not really, right intellect up to that standard, it's difficult for you to understand. And then we are caught up in that part of laziness that Guru Vasu said. We don't want to tax the intellect. We don't want to learn more. Bare minimum and expect everything to be right. Devotees, all these things I'm saying applies to every one of us. Every one of us. And if you live it, Shiva is in me, Sati is in me, Parvati is in me. It all depends which one I want to dominate. Sati or Parvati. We're going to hear Parvati. Sati was reborn as Parvati. The enlightened intellect. The attitude changed. Difference changed. And remember, Shiv Parvati, not Shiv Sati. Right? Daksh, ego. Sati, the daughter of Daksh. When the ego is the intellect is unenlightened, it's because of ego. Ego is the father. So when I'm very egoistic, self-centered, you could never think straight. And I'm saying never think straight. Cloudy. Misguided. We have to get rid of the ego. Notice? The cut out the head and give both head. Yeah? Then you transcend the gunas. You go to higher levels of understanding. Hinduism devotees, it's for all people. Those who can't understand all that, offer you go to any hug and think, no problem. Go ahead. But those who understand, you offer the inner hug, the inner goat, inner transformation. Sati is inside, Atma, Shiva, Girijamati. All this you apply. I'm pushing this over and over. Application. If you're lazy, you can't assimilate this. But you know what? At some point, by 100 lifetime from now, you have to come to this point. Gyan Bhakti. And the sooner, the better. So devotees, Sati, 108 Peeth, Shakti Peeth. And last time we did Devi Yag, I read, but I don't have time to do that now. Right? Maybe some other time. The 108 places in India. By just chanting those names, there's a power. The Devi Gita gives us that. So those of you who could read, you want to get a copy of the Devi Gita, check in it, and you will see there's that chapter gives us the 108 names. One jap, one mala of jap, 108 Shakti Peeth in India. And we are told that to do that, full merits. Srad and so on being done, chanted, plenty merits. It's a power that 108 names. Because sound vibration, most powerful. And remember, I've been telling you, food is not for the soul. All know that, right? All them Bhandavan thing, people put food outside. It's not for the soul. What is for the soul? Bhajan, sound vibration. So when I chant these kind of mantras, these sacred formulas, I nourish the soul, so to speak. You have to come to that point. So I'm trying to get people to go to a different level, devotees. So here, the unenlightened intellect is destroyed. And I told you all, think carefully what I'm saying. Next week, I want to bring forth the enlightened intellect for all of us. So we're getting out of this state of unenlightenment, seeing things cloudy, duality, multiplicity. We want to focus on Parvati, that divine Shakti that represents the enlightened intellect. So it's a journey that I'm taking you on. Many could go on the journey, but they could grumble as you go along, they could slip away as you go along, they could lose out as you go along. Maybe if one or two people could reach, I'll be happy. But I have no control over the outcome. So devotees, I know I cannot put some pressure on people because you believe once you pray to God, everything good. Pray to God, He could do everything for you. Right? Okay, but grow out of that now. Grow out of that. You develop a sense of self-motivation when you realize that Bhagwan in me. Everything is in me. Aham Brahmasmi. Okay? This is the journey. Bole Siyar Shakti Jagadamba Mata Ki Jai. So devotees, we conclude for this morning. And next week, as I said, we'll continue. I want to bring forth Mata Parvati. And we'll explain how enlightened intellect functions. And you know, I'm saying all these things so you can compare with your established behavior and you can decide where you are at. Where you are at. Okay? Alright, so make preparation for the final horn. And while it's being done, I know you all have been sitting very quietly and listening, so let's use your voice. And we will perform a simple kirtan and we proceed to conclude. Ram Ram Sita Ram Ramachandra Pahi Mam Ram Krishna Govinda Hari Pahi Mam. Krishna Krishna Gopala Vasudeva Pahi Mam. Atulita baladhamam Hanumat pahi mam. Atulita baladhamam Hanumat pahi mam. Durga Lakshmi Shaireda Sarva Devi Pahi Mam. Hara Hara Gangadhar Neelakancha Pahi Mam. Hara Hara Gangadhar Neelakancha Pahi Mam. Krishnanand, a little bit each time, and it's 5 more times, I will tell you. Om Ganganapataye Namah Swaha. Say Gauri Mata Swaha. Say Prithvi Mata Swaha. Panchlok Pali Vaya Swaha. Om Namo Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namah Shivaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. Say Suryari Navgraha Devaya Swaha. Brahmagnaye Namah Swaha. Om Hrim Shrim Chandikaya Namah Swaha. Om Krim Kaliyai Namah Swaha. Mahalakshmi Mata Bhyo Namo Namah Swaha. Om Shrim Hrim Saraswatyai Swaha. Om Sri Ishwari Devi Swaha. Sri Parameshwari Devi Swaha. Om Sri Shitala Devi Swaha. Sri Mahanyapurna Devi Swaha. Om Sri Mangala Devi Swaha. Om Sri Chandi Devi Swaha. Om Sri Mansa Devi Swaha. Om Hrim Shashti Devi Swaha. Om Sri Tara Devi Swaha. Shodasi Devi Swaha. Bhuvaneshwari Devi Swaha. Chanamasta Devi Swaha. Bhairavi Devi Swaha.
धूमावती देवी स्वाहा, बगलामुखी देवी स्वाहा, श्री मातंगी देवी स्वाहा, श्री कमला देवी स्वाहा, हेमावती देवी स्वाहा, सिद्धेश्वरी देवी स्वाहा, कल्याणी देवी स्वाहा, कात्यायनी देवी स्वाहा, कौमारी देवी स्वाहा, सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, श्री हनुमते नमः स्वाहा, सीतारामचंद्राभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, राधा कृष्णाय नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री इष्ट देवाय स्वाहा, श्री कुल देवाय स्वाहा, अष्टान देवाय स्वाहा, ग्राम देवाय स्वाहा, वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा. 5 times again. वास्तुदेवाय स्वाहा. 33 करोड़ देवताभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, सर्वदेवता सर्वदेवीभ्यो नमो नमः स्वाहा, अनंत स्वरूपाय ब्रह्मणे नमः स्वाहा, ओम श्री गुरुवे नमः स्वाहा. Wash your hands in Italy. Do pradani fayayat. Wash your hands in Italy. Please all stand, devotees. So you pick up the leaf now? Yeah. We concentrate on Bhagavan Shankar. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shambhavaya cha Mayubhavaya cha. Namah Sankaraya cha Mayaskaraya cha. Shivaya cha Shivtaraya cha. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Purnamidah Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Sarvam Vai Purnagvam Swaha. Offer it into the fire. Offer water 3 times around. Om Sarva Papaharam Dibyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanam Chamaya Dattam Grihitam Purushottamaha Achmanam Samarpayami. Brahmagnaye Namaha. Bow to the flame 5 times. Yeah. Boliye Shri Umapati Mahadeva ki Jai. Devotees will have our prarthana. Jai Jagadish Hare. Join together everybody and come for your vibhuti. प्रभु त्रिविधताप निवारण हे विभु अज जनेश्वर यादव पाहि मां शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलं प्रतिदिनं कुशलं जय मङ्गलम् मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलायतनु हरि ओम आवाहनम न जानामि विसर्जनम पूजां चैव न जानामि क्षम्यतां परमेश्वर ओम गच्छ गच्छुरश्रेष्ठ स्वस्थाने परमेश्वर यत ब्रह्मादयो देवास्तत्र गच्छुतासनम ओम लाभस्तेषां जयस्तेषां कुतस्तेषां पराजय येषामिन्दे वर्षां हृदयस्थो जनार्दनम् ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं सदाशिव यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्णं तदस्तु मे ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मा अमृतं गमय ओम गच्छ त्वं भगवन् अग्ने स्वस्थाने कुन्दमध्यतः हुतम् आदाय देवेभ्यः शीघ्र देहि प्रसीद मे ब्रह्मज्ञये नमः ओम त्वमेव माता च पितः त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम गर्व से कहो गर्व से कहो गर्व से कहो बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की बोलिए श्री स्वाहा माता की शुभमस्तु blessings to all please be seated devotees
Sitaram, and thank you again for joining with us this morning. So just a couple of announcements. So firstly, by now, everyone, you're all are aware of the Mahashivratri Yag taking place from Friday the 13th to Sunday the 15th with the Shivratri Jap on the morning of the Sunday starting at 9 a.m. So at this time, we do have a list of the materials and items that will be needed for the Hawan, and they can be collected, this list could be collected from Lisa as you exit. Now, we do have a limited amount of copies, but we will be sharing the list on the GDKM WhatsApp group, so persons can also print their own personal copies when we do share it. As well as if there's anyone who is not on the GDKM WhatsApp group and would like to join the group, could please contact me as well after service. Secondly, tickets are now available for our VeggieQ fundraiser taking place on May the 1st, and it costs $50, and these tickets can also be purchased from Lisa or Auntie Kunti. Now, just as a reminder that all the proceeds really goes towards the temple maintenance, and any assistance will be greatly appreciated. So again, with this VeggieQ, we do have a list of donation items that will be needed, and if anyone is interested in contributing towards the VeggieQ in this form, can also check Auntie Kunti for this list. And lastly, anyone who wishes to sit for Hawan on Sunday morning or for any other temple events throughout the year are kindly asked to contact any one of the executive members. Parasad can be collected as you leave the temple, and we look forward to seeing you all again next week Sunday. Have a safe journey home.
All right, thank you, Aditi. I get a little frightened this morning. I don't know, from Friday to now, the VeggieQ cost gone up by $10? 40? All right, so you said 15, so I get a little attacking. Yeah.
And was Abrafazadi. All right, so the cost is $40. It didn't go up. You have a mistake, I think. These things happen, Aditi. Yeah, these things happen. All right. So this morning I want to say happy birthday to Krishna Anand. Krishna Anand. He performed Havan this morning, celebrating his birthday. Yesterday was his sister's birthday, Kavita. So I want to say happy birthday to you today. And belated happy birthday to Kavita. Let's give them a round of applause. All right. They have come from all the way Enterprise to be together with us. As your guru, I'm very pleased with the kind of sacrifices you all are making. I know life is challenging, but no gain without pain. So keep the journey going, Krishna Anand. You're here quite often in service. Kavita, nice to see you come in and bring the little one with you. Nice. Ishmael, nice to see you. All right, so devotees, service continues next week, Sunday morning. And I want to invite you also on the, what is that date? The 12th. All right, not the 12th, the week before. Is the, what date? Thursday before, the 7th? 6th, 7th, 8th? All right. Shan Ramlagan, you know, she has a Bhagavad taking place. Now this Bhagavad will be for 2 times per day. All right? So I discussed with her, you know, Bhagavad after lunch, 1 o'clock. That is well sleepy time. So people sleepy, I think go take a nap and all do. So what we have decided we will do one session in the morning, one session in the night. Afternoon session, we'll go home and do a hairstyle and do and prepare the company evening session. All right? The yajna starts on Thursday, the 6th, the 5th, Thursday the 5th. Right, Thursday the 5th. And it goes on Friday morning, Friday evening, Saturday morning, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, Sunday evening. Right, 5th of February. And it will take place at the Polgong Temple in Pusal. It is much more convenient for the family who on Balmain side. So we want to invite you for this year. Remember, it's twice per day, and it concludes so that it goes without saying that Sunday morning, the 8th, there will be no service. Right? On the 15th, we have our job. So bear this in mind, we'll remind you of it again. Bhagavad Katha, Krishna Katha, for those 4 days. So do join us. So devotees, once again, blessings to everybody. And I know after Friday night, it was a challenge Friday night, of which 3-4 hours, many people sit here to the Saraswati Jayanti. But I'm happy to see so many of you coming out service, you know, and keep it going. God's work doesn't stop. Right? And the more sacrifices you make, the better it is. It is for you, you're on your own journey. So I appreciate it very much. Blessings to everybody. I look forward to seeing you next week, Sunday. All right? Krishna Anand, stand up. Jai Sitaram. Blessings, enjoy the rest of your day and many more.